If we focus on carbon dioxide for a moment and we look at the traditional ways of doing business or business as usual, there's a really linear way that we're focusing. It's the take, make, waste model. So at the moment, in order to generate our power, say using a coal-fired power station, we take the coal, we burn the coal, that produces energy, and we emit the carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. Take, make, extract, waste. We use a circular economy model in MCI where we treat the carbon dioxide as a resource and repurpose it and use it back into systems. So if you consider any of the waste that we use in the world, not only emissions, but any of our rubbish, any of the processes that we use, and we consider our waste as a resource, we can be saving a lot of money, a lot of environmental impact, and a lot of energy as well. If you treat carbon dioxide as a resource and not just a harmful waste, that actually brings about a lot of innovation potential. Traditionally, companies treat CO2 as just something that they can emit for free or something that might, in the long term, be a cost, but actually treating it as a resource that can be transformed into profit creates a whole new mindset whereby action can be taken. And this is significant because it is not only a more efficient way of treating your resources, not only can you make money out of it, but you can significantly reduce the amount of emissions that end up in the atmosphere, and this is going to help us reach our Paris Climate Change Agreement targets.
This brick was made using CO2 from an ammonium nitrate factory in Newcastle.
We take the CO2 from the factory and we bind it using a process called mineral carbonation to create all different kinds of products, including the cement brick. Carbon capture and use, CCU, can also be called carbon capture and utilization, carbon transformation, valorization. There are a number of different labels for effectively just turning CO2 into valuable products. The market has been estimated to be worth almost $6 trillion per annum, and we know that Australia can be a really significant player in this. Australia can be world leaders in carbon processing. We can have hubs that process the world's carbon dioxide and turn it into valuable materials that we can use here in Australia, but also that we can export to the world and really bring the world into a net zero or a negative emissions future. We know that we need to reduce our emissions, and we know that we still have a lot of highly emitting industries that need to operate in order to power our lives and to build our built environment. So it just makes sense to take our emissions and our waste and turn it into new products. So when I speak at global conferences and when I speak to business leaders, I show them this brick and I say, this is a little bit of climate hope in our hand. This is a way that we can make our waste and our carbon dioxide productive. This is climate action. I've been working in this industry for the last 7 years, and we've been talking about the circular economy for all of that time. But I would say until a year ago, the concept of the circular economy just wasn't being adopted by large companies. It's unbelievably exciting that in the past year, the largest companies in the world are starting to back it. And now because of that, there are more people talking publicly about concepts around the circular economy, how to be circular economy leaders, and also how to measure your circularity. We know that it's good to be ambitious and to state that you want to be a low waste or a no waste company, but being able to really robustly measure your circularity is one of the most fundamentally important parts of it. And now there are tools, online tools, that do help with that. There are also global reports now about circularity. So there's the Circularity Gap Report and other reports coming out of the UN and other larger NGOs, which shine a light on current practices in the world. In the past, we've seen some behaviour out of the corporate part of the world, which is seeking profits at all costs. And we know that that way of doing business is not sustainable. It's the way of the past, and the way of the future is considering not only profits, but other benefits to society and to the environment. And this is called the triple bottom line. We can see from the corporate world and from the investment world that there is a heightened focus on ESG investment, or environmental social governance investment, which means that companies are no longer just looking at profits, but they're looking at true impact. And if business models have true impact as well as making money, then that is truly sustainable. If you'd like to find out more about the CCU industry in Australia, I highly recommend you check out CO2 Value Australia's website, which is co2value.org.au. There's all kinds of information on there about the different technologies in Australia that can transform CO2 into value. I highly recommend you check it out. Also, Mineral Carbonation International's website is mineralcarbonation.com. You can follow our progress there. And finally, if you are interested in the circular economy, there's so much emerging every day. The biggest cities in Australia and every university is announcing circular economy projects. So check out your local city and your local university for more information.